with the album out, and obviously doing singles and stuff, how much are you pressing to tour, or like how much has this been music you've already had written? Because like some bands will write music, and once they record the album, the next day the guy's writing more songs, or the band goes, "We're waiting, we're going to play this album out for 2 years, and then we sit down and write." Like, are you always in the process of writing and throwing new songs in? Or are you kind of like work the material guy?
We are a group that are always working on new ideas. I've got the phone that died, unfortunately, that has just a folder just full of video ideas. Whenever I'm on the guitar or Bryce on the guitar, and we come up with a riff that we like, we'll capture it. And then later on, as the mood strikes, we'll arrange it. Generally, what happens is I do all the music arranging, get it all put together into song form, and then send it to Mike, and he generally puts the lyrics and does the melodies that way. And that's where we get the basic song idea from, and then we'll get it to the guys, and we'll put together as a band. It's not the only way we do it, but that's often most of the time how we do it. We've got a couple of ideas we've been working on here recently that just came organically in the room. We just started jamming a riff, and the whole everybody put their own part together in it. It became kind of a song within the rehearsal space, which happens a lot to some bands, kind of rarely for us. But nonetheless, the point of your question is we're always writing,
Yeah.
and eventually we will sit down and formally put together the songs that'll be the next Rat Rod record, whenever that comes to be. But I'm going to say probably not anything serious until sometime later next year.
But so you and the singer are the primary songwriters of the band?
Yes. Bryce, my son and rhythm guitar player, is an equal part in that. He comes up with ideas all the time. But as far as the songs themselves, putting them together into a song form, that's the vast majority of the time Mike and myself.
All right. I think I could give you grief about not doing any songs with your son. I'm like, geez, he's in a band with you. You should at least write some songs with him.
Well, he definitely does his part for sure. And when I say that Mike and I do the songwriting or put it together, that's really just that, just the basic structure. It truly becomes a Rat Rod song when all the guys do their part and put their own thing to it. And Harry does his drum thing the way he plays it, and John puts his bass lines in, and Bryce will do his own thing with the guitar within the structure of the song. And if any of the other
Cool.
guys came in with song ideas,
Yeah.
they're obviously welcome to do so. It's just how this band has evolved.
I hear that. I'm always just curious how different bands do it. I'm looking over here to the side as you're saying that. I pulled up you have your website up here. It's really good. Like you have a
Thank you.
lot of stuff, and you got it's like lyric. I'm telling for people, check out the link will be underneath the show. Check it out. The videos are on here. There's like lyrics. They have obviously a store for some swag. You got everything on here. The videos, yeah. So also you did like a live album during COVID because that makes sense.
Right. We poke on ourselves.
I'm teasing you, teasing
about
you.
that.
How'd
Yeah,
that come about?
well, it was kind of funny. I've always wanted to do a live record. It's just one of those things. I get these itches I have to scratch, and I've always wanted to do one. So why not do one when nobody's playing live? Ironically, no. The truth of the matter is, we were able to get out the second half of the year and played about half a dozen shows, fortunately. And for those shows, we actually recorded two specifically of those shows, and pulled songs from both of those shows and put them together. And how it came about was the fact that I was able to purchase a one of those Tascam Model 12 mixer / multi-track recording units, mostly for the purpose of recording rehearsal with. But I realized that it's pretty capable, so I talked with some front of house sound guys and connected up and got the live tracks from front of the house and mixed it up and made a live record out of it. And the guys thought I was freaking nuts, but they liked it, so put it out.
That's pretty
So
crazy.
yeah, it
That
was
is
just
really crazy.
audacious. We've got enough balls and enough creativity and enough audacity to do whatever the hell we want and hope that people like it.
And you have some shows coming up. And I'll announce the ones that are on there. Your next three. You have a July 8th show.
Uh-huh.
in Philly, and then you have one 15th, and that's also in Philly, and the third was also in Philly on August 5th. But
Yeah,
it's
we're
all there,
doing a little
people.
Philly run. Yep, a little
Yeah,
Philly run there next month or so.
which makes sense. So like I said, people need to go to the store, buy the swag, check out the kit. It's got everything on there. I always like to go there. I like to see a band that has a full website. I think it's important,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah, we
besides
try
just
to
socials.
yeah, we try to keep it simple and it's easy to remember, ratrodrocks.com. And it's a one-stop shopping for everything, and it links you to all the other stuff. So we just try to make it easy for people because
So
there's so many other choices out there. We don't need you working to try to get to us.
right, and that's what it comes down to. The name is obviously are you guys car buffs or what's the deal?
Bryce and I definitely are, and that's where Mike actually came up with the name. Um, when he and I got together and put the initial songs together for the first record, had to come up with a name for the band because the music was put out before the band was created. And he was brainstorming ideas. I was brainstorming ideas. He calls me one day and says, I got it. He spit out Rat Rod. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. It was that simple. And yeah, because I'm a car buff, I have old cars I play around with, Bryce's in the cars. So it just made sense. Now, in hindsight, recognizing that Rat Rod automatically kind of points you in a direction of maybe rockabilly or that whole 50s vibe, maybe it wasn't the best choice. But again, we liked it. So who cares?
I just think of guys that would like real rock and roll, gearheads, get dirty, kind of rock and roll. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
me, that's what I think of. In that
All right,
vein, which is a
cool.
good vein. The vein it's like it's your junkyards and your Little Caesar bands. Those are the kind of bands I think of when I think of like cars and bikes and
Mhm.
good
And
times. So
we
it's a big
definitely
thing.
fit in. We definitely fit into that sort of vibe, musically as well as people, because we're all even though Mike isn't necessarily a car guy per se, he definitely has a great appreciation for cars and bikes and all of that, and same with LJ. LJ was a competitive road bicycle competitor for a long time. So although he's not into cars per se, the whole competitive nature of things like that, he can definitely relate to them.
Um, so moving forward, you think probably an album like next year, right? Where you're kind of promoting the floor to the floor, and you got your live thing kind of was not long ago also. Those are kind of like
Yeah, that's
now.
kind of
The
long.
timeline's weird with COVID and releases now because no one really got to
Yeah.
get the legs on the albums really.
Right, and that's what we saw with live is it got good response, but COVID kind of screwed up what you could do with it. So though we're really focusing on four on the floor, it's live is there, and we'll talk about that and be happy to let you hear it and pass it around. That'd be cool too.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I think people should check it out. Digging it. I like to check it out, but I want to thank you, man, for coming on the show. I want people to check you guys out. Go to the website underneath the YouTube or Spotify, wherever you're listening to this on.
Yeah.
Any last words you want to say for the fans?
Well, hey, thank you for everybody that's out there that have liked what we do and given us support. If you haven't checked us out, but you're watching this or listening to this, come check us out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And hey, thanks for having me on here. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, and I'll be looking forward to you coming up the coast a little further up. You're not that
Definitely
far
want
away.
to.